Okay, so this is Google Docs, Google Drive training workshop. First thing you need to do is to log into your domain account so that you can get to your drive. Now the session is going to run kind of like this. We're going to talk about why we use Google Docs, then I'm going to give some examples for teachers and students, and then we'll do how to create, share, edit documents and a challenge. Then we'll have some work time, and I want you to feel free continuously through the session to post questions on a document that I've shared with you, and also put in some answers. If you're more of an intermediate advanced user, go ahead and help answer some of those, and then I have some further resources. Okay, just before we start, if you look at your drive, a couple things I wanted to point out. Some people don't realize, but there's a section up here where you can click on the grid, or you can view as files, as a list of files. So some people prefer one or the other. You might try experimenting with that. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to explore. Check out the little squares at the top up here next to the icon. If you have a picture you've added into your Google account, then the picture will appear. Also try sorting your files if you have files. You can sort by last modified, you can sort by title, which goes alphabetically, folders first. And then this section where you see the colored folders, to change a color on a folder, just right click, change the color. The folders that are shared, you'll notice that they appear different, and there's a little light gray word shared next to it, so you can kind of see which ones that you've shared. Now, one thing, to find the thing that I shared with you, the document, you'll have to go to shared with me, and that's a different place than what we're looking at now. So I want you to also flip between those two. You may have things that have been shared with you that you're not even aware of. So I'm going to give 3 minutes. Go ahead and check some of these out, and I'm going to move around the room. Okay, so hopefully everybody is set to go and a little bit more familiar with the way Drive looks. Why use them? Well, the kids really enjoy using them because they're able to collaborate so much more easily. Teachers as well. You don't have to be in the same room. You can be working on the same document and adding comments or editing and not being physically in the same place. So it really helps you to be more efficient. Okay, I like the fact that you always have the most recent version. You don't have to worry about, is this the attachment that I sent that was the most recent? It does auto-save for you, so if you get up and leave, don't worry about losing your work. It does it actually every few seconds. And you can use it on your Mac at home, your PC at school. It's all saved in the cloud, so it's easy to access your work. So teachers, not only can you collaborate on, let's say, lesson plans or share meeting notes, agendas, share folders with your students. You can put your syllabus in the folder. You can have them share assignments with you. You can use Google Forms to do a survey. This is the one that I did for our student technology survey when I asked the kids what devices they owned, and it was a great way to get a lot of information from 400 students and have it all sent to me in a spreadsheet. And then it's actually very easy then to show it in graphical form, and I'll show you that in a second. Also to use presentations, and there's a template gallery that people have already started. There's a public one. There's also one that we can use just for our school. But the template gallery is a place to get things that have already been created and to take advantage of using something that's already been done. Okay, and this is just showing you what happens when you send a survey and you get the information back in a spreadsheet, but then you can click on view the results and it automatically puts it into pie graphs, bar graphs, and so visually you can see the information very, very nicely. Okay, so some examples of collaborative work, further examples. The history department, we use this for the scope and sequence, and everybody could add to it, and so we had a living document that was easy to change. You might want to work on a lesson plan with a colleague, and off to the side you can leave comments if you don't want to change the body of the document, and you can notify your team member or colleague about what you've changed, or if you have a question, and then you can also, they can be notified by email or just when they look at the document. Students can work collaboratively on presentations. If someone's doing a PowerPoint in a small group, no longer they have to have one person that has to put all the slides together and do all the work, but they can all do it at the same time at home or at school. And this helps achieve the National Educational Technology Standard for collaboration, the NETS, that's from the International Society for Technology and Education, the standards for students. So Google Docs is a great way to help them achieve those goals. They keep a running log of their writing samples, their journals. There are also chat features that you can use while you're working on the document, and the teachers can look at the revision history to see who's contributed and when. Also, the students then don't have to worry about losing their work. Nobody can totally lose the whole group's project because you can just go back to a previous version. And the students are able to publish their work. There's a feature that allows you to publish it, and you can share the link, and it can be public, so parents could see their work and other students as well. One thing I did with my students, I've been doing this for a couple years now, and I always start it by saying, this is a fun activity, don't ruin it by typing inappropriate words. So you have to always kind of set the rules and responsibilities before you start something like this. What I did is, it was a time to review for a test, and so I created a shared document, divided them up. They each had a topic that they're responsible for, and I showed it live on the projector so I could walk around the room and see, glancing up at the projector, who was doing what and make suggestions. The kids loved it. They could see all these different people working at the same time on the document, and it was a great resource for them to save for later. So it was a fun activity. Another thing that we did is my students do an art history project using the Google Art Project, which is fabulous if you haven't seen it yet. It's a whole resource that is available for students to use to kind of introduce them to art history. Like, they'll show a painting of the Starry Night, and they talk about how a docent would describe it, and helps them really have a better understanding of the work. But anyway, they shared their work with me while they were doing it, and so I could add comments and let them know if they're missing something or give suggestions. Then they shared it with the class, and when they shared it, it was view only, so that kids couldn't change their work, but it was a great resource for them to see each other's work. Here's just an example of one of my students and her project, and it was nice to be able to give her suggestions while she was working on it, so she really achieved a better project overall. Students can work collaboratively on essays or written work, or just individually, and you can see over here, and we'll talk more about revision history in a minute, but you can see the different revisions that were made, and it'll show you different colors for different students. You can get more detail. You could have up to the minute detail on who did what. Okay, now many of you already know how to do this, so I'll just go through this quickly. If you don't, we're going to just create a document now, and you just go to the red Create button and create document. Same way you're going to create presentations, forms. Click on the red button. If you already know how to do that, you might try uploading an existing document from your folder on your school documents, and you might try converting it to a PDF or convert it to a Google Doc, and you can also just drag and drop them. Okay, first thing you do is you want to give it a title, and then you'll notice a lot of the tools are similar to Microsoft Word, so you'll be able to do that pretty easily. When you want to add comments, the comments again go off to the side. They'll be in the margin according to wherever you clicked with your cursor, but you're able to resolve the comments once you've gone back and forth with the student or the fellow teacher. You're also able to choose your notification settings. You might not want to get notifications when changes are made, but you might want to, so you're able to select whatever option that you want. Okay, in revision history, the way you get there is you go to File at the top and see Revision History. Now this part is a little tricky. The students sometimes forget a couple of the steps here when they're sharing, so I'm going to go over this a couple slides showing you some screenshots. Basically, you might want to be sharing a syllabus with your students. You have the option of sharing something view only, or you can say edit, or you can also say comment. So you have different options to allow them. Students can always make a copy of something, even if you have it view only. They can make a copy and then they can edit it and do their. Now, first thing you do is you change when you click on the blue share button, you go to where it says private. Private is the default, but you want to change that so that you can share it. Okay, you're going to select people at ESD with the link, and that way you're going to be able to have people log into the Google domain accounts and see or share the document. Once you do that, you have to do one final step, and that is what you want them to do. Do you want them to be able to view it? Do you want them to be able to edit it, or just comment? So you have to set that and then click Save, and then you're done with the sharing. Okay, here's a challenge that we're going to try, and then when we're finished with this, there are a couple things I wanted to show you. Finally, just so you know, when you look at your storage, when you have a Drive account with the school, you get twice as much storage, so you have 30 gigabytes of storage, and that's quite a bit. It should last a while, but if you have a personal account, you only have 15. Another thing is, if you want to know how to do shorteners so that those long links can be shortened, these are two sites that you can go to where you can just cut and paste the link in. Okay, and as you know, Drive is not just Google Docs, it's also presentations, spreadsheets, forms, drawings. Here are a couple ways that teachers have used forms to give a quick pre-test. You might give your students a form, or you might give them an exit ticket. There are a lot of templates that have already been created, so it's quite easy to create these. Another example is to just do a student survey at the beginning of the year to get some information about your students, or you can also do a survey to see how you're doing, get some feedback on your teaching. Here's something that we'll probably be using at ESD if we switch from first class. You can use Google Forms to collect information for demerits or our DAC forms, and the nice thing about this is it'll automatically put in a spreadsheet. It'll be much easier to control the information. Forms can also be embedded on a website, so this is one that asks what books they've read, and it's a reading record. You could also do something where you embed a form and it continually updates, and you could share that information. More advanced use of forms is if you use the script Flubaroo, which automatically grades the little quiz you give, and it can also, you can actually set it up to email the students their grade, so it's pretty cool. Here's some further resources. The second one about foreign language, it's actually not just for foreign languages, for all sorts of different disciplines, so it's a good thing to check out. And some of the screenshots that I used are from this presentation. Becky Evans, 40 Ways to Use Google Apps in the Classroom. And then also, this is the main training center from Google, and it has different modules on learning about the different uses. This is the one on Drive, but once you get there, you can look at all the other ones as well. And then just here are some presentations that I've done at school for teachers in mini sessions if you want to look at a few things for forms or presentations. And one last thing, in some of the mini sessions we've done, we found out a lot of people don't understand what a browser is, and so I just put this in here to show you that the Chrome browser works best with the Google Docs, but just to help you understand that Safari, Internet Explorer, Firefox, those are all different browsers. Okay, thank you.